समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
आप समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
These shocking scenes from the Hazratbal Shrine in Srinagar in the Kashmir Valley are bewildering. The Ashoka emblem is India's national emblem. It is on our currency notes, it is on our passports, and yet we are looking at a situation where it has been desecrated and vandalized in the most shocking way. Worse, the mainstream of the Kashmir Valley's politics, including the Chief Minister, in fact, it's across party lines, the National Conference and the PDP have joined hands to basically ask why this emblem was placed within the shrine. As I mentioned, this emblem has nothing to do with religion. It is India's national emblem. It is on the currency notes that the people of Jammu and Kashmir use every single day of their lives, on the passports that they use to travel abroad. So what is the problem? It has erupted now into a major political row. Kashmir ke gunde is how the chairperson of the J&K Waqf board, Darakshan Andrabi, that's the language she used to describe the men who did this to the Ashoka emblem. The chief minister did not address the issue of the vandalism itself, but did question why the emblem was there at all. To try and understand why we are seeing this sort of radicalized response, what's at the heart of it? Remember, 26 people have now been detained for this vandalism. I want to introduce our guests on the program today. We can bring them up. There we have Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, usually an opposition supporter. Does he support what has happened, the response of the NC and the PDP and other Kashmir-based mainstream political parties on this issue? We'll find out in a moment from now. Joining me from the National Conference is Imran Dar. Thank you, Imran, for sharing your perspective on the program. We'll try and understand from you why the NC has taken the position it has. And someone who knows the Kashmir Valley like the back of his hand, former General Officer Commanding of the 15 Corps, General Atta Hasnain, is with us. As I said, these images were absolutely shocking. And I want, General Hasnain, your overview before we come to Imran and Tehseen on the specifics of why this has happened, why religion is being invoked to rationalize it. What does the national emblem have to do with religion? General Hasnain.
Thank you, Barkha. Thank you for inviting me, because I don't think there are too many people who could otherwise speak on this subject. Having said that, I am very conscious of the fact that every word I'm going to say will be very measured to make sure that I tread a careful path. I do not meander anywhere right or left. All I'm looking for is the interest of one thing. That's my nation, nothing more. Okay, so let's start. I would say it happened way back in 2006 also, when the army took on the repair of lots and lots of madrasas, mosques in the Uri area, and after the earthquake of 8th of October 2005. And then there was an objection. Why is the army's hand in the repair of mosques, etc.? All that the army was doing was expressing empathy for the people, their mosques, their places of worship having been destroyed at that particular time. But the army pulled back. Sensible, they pulled back and they didn't overdo it after that. So I just recall that immediately. And when I saw this act taking place, once again I was remembered that and said, it seems that the elements who don't want to see peace and security, stability in Kashmir seem to be back. And having said that, and you very correctly just drew the parallel, the emblem of India, every square inch of the territory of India deserves to have the emblem placed on it. Right? In my perception, as an Indian, I would ensure that, for example, the rupee notes that I put into places of worship, there are lots of places of worship where I go and make donations, put on a 100 rupee note, a 500 rupee note, each of them carries the symbol of India. Yeah. No one objects to putting those things inside collection boxes, etc. And those are right inside the middle of places of worship. So here, I mean, it plays a region which has always been connected with syncretism, always with an element of plurality, suddenly starts questioning these kind of things. And I'm not even using the word radicalism. I'm not using those extreme words, etc. All I'm saying is rather unfortunate that with all the efforts going on to integrate the territory of Jammu and Kashmir and the people of Jammu and Kashmir, that yet you find someone who comes forward and does this kind of a desecration of an Indian symbol. Now, if you have any objection, that our faith or something like that does not permit a national symbol, all you need to do is to raise the issue. After all, we are a democratic society. You raise the issue and maybe then you discuss. That's how people should be doing it always. But to pick up stones and start destroying the Indian symbol is something I would never stand for. And that is why I'm very strong in my opinion about this in this particular debate.
And the really important point that you made is about the rupee notes that are offered as donations at across shrines, whether whether you go to a gurdwara, whether you go to a mandir, whether you go to a dargah, and the Ashoka emblem is on those notes. So I'm literally taken aback by what has happened. It's very upsetting to see the images we're seeing on our screen. But I want to before I bring in Imran and Tehseen, I want to play out the Chief Minister's statement. Now, Omar Abdullah is not known for inflammatory rhetoric. He uses his words usually in a very measured way. But this time, he has questioned why the emblem and why this tone was there. Let's take a look at his statement and then come to Imran Dar of the National Conference. Take a look.
उस पत्थर पे एम्बलम लगना चाहिए था या नहीं लगना चाहिए था, पहले तो वो सवाल बनता है। मैंने अभी तक किसी भी मजहबी दायरे में, किसी भी फंक्शन में इस तरह का एम्बलम का इस्तेमाल होते हुए नहीं देखा है। तो क्या मजबूरी बनी थी कि हजरत बल के इस प्रोग्राम इस पत्थर पे एक तो एम्बलम इस्तेमाल और फिर पत्थर लगाने की क्या जरूरत थी ना? क्या काम काफी नहीं था?
पत्थर लगाने की क्या जरूरत थी? क्या काम काफी नहीं था? Imran Sahab, I want you to come in now. What is the National Conference objecting to here? If you could please explain to me, what is the problem? You cannot say कि ये किसी और धर्म का religion है, ये तो देश का emblem है. जैसे General Hasnain ने अभी बोला, it's on our notes, it's on our passports. So please tell us what is the problem and please unmute yourself. You muted yourself at your end.
Yes, thank you, Barkha, for bringing me here. Basically, I think we need to understand why this issue has blown out like it has blown out the way it has. First of all, we need to understand that this dargah was, when it came into existence before, I think 100 years ago. Then its first renovation was done by Sheikh Saab when he renovated the dargah and the
I think we lost Imran right there. Maybe he'll reconnect. Imran, please reconnect if you can. Tehseen, let me bring you in the meantime. This is being done in the
can you
name
hear
of
me?
faith. Yeah, we'd lost you.
There
Okay.
has
Yeah,
been
okay.
no plaque installed inside the dargah. The work that has been done Dargah, no plaque has been installed ever. This is for the first time that Darakshan ji decided to install a plaque inside the mosque premises. And as far as your initial statement about radicalization, I have strong objection to what the kind of
All right, Imran's obviously on a terrible line, but let's bring Tehseen in. I think what I picked up was that there's never been a plaque inside the shrine. What was the need for the plaque at all? Let me bring you in, Tehseen. How do you see what's happening here? Because once again, it's happening in the name of religion, but it's very particular to Kashmir because I don't see this becoming an issue among the Muslim community outside of the Kashmir Valley. You're here as Tehseen Poonawala, but you're also a Muslim by faith. How do you see it? As is General Hasnain, of course, which is obvious. Tehseen, go ahead. Yeah, can we unmute Tehseen, please?
I unmuted myself. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
First of all, General Hasnain, thank you so much for your services to the nation. And thank you for having me on the show, Barkha. I speak not as an opposition supporter, which I am, but also as an Indian Muslim. And I am outraged by what this mob did. I am outraged. And General Hasnain, in his opening remarks, said he would measure his words. I won't. If you damage my national emblem, if you damage my signs of sovereignty, if you mobs burn my tricolor, I will come after you with a ton of bricks. And I am surprised that the government is still being so calm. When I am in government, the first thing that I will do, one of the first ordinances, if I can come back on screen, you've lost me.
No, we can hear you. Just keep going. They're just bringing up pictures.
One of the first things that I will do when I'm in government is one of the first few ordinances that I'll pass is that if you damage national emblems or you burn the tricolor mobs, you will be shot with pellet guns. Point number one. Point number two. Politicians who encourage this kind of mindless mob violence, their passports will be confiscated. They will spend time behind jail. Their security will be withdrawn and they will not be allowed to hold any political post or contest any elections in the Republic of India. Now, let me talk about the two pampered kids who have been going around, apart from the several other politicians, because most of these are pampered kids of politicians who sort of encourage these mobs. None of these pampered kids will take part in this mobs breaking it because they want the Indian passport to go abroad and study. With respect to everybody else, I know Imran is here. His boss's kids will go abroad and study. Make no mistake about it, and they'll take the Indian passport. Mehbooba Mufti's kids studied abroad. Make no mistake about it. They encourage mobs to do this. This is unacceptable. When you want, and like when I'm in government, you can talk to me about anything and everything. You don't want the plaque in, you think this offends religious sentiments. I'm ready to discuss with you within the framework of the Constitution of India. The minute you go outside of the Constitution of India and you challenge my sovereignty, that is an act of war and rules of war apply. I am sorry. Our nation's first choice, the nation only exists, Imran and I only exist because this nation exists. If you
are you calling this vandalism an act of war against the Indian state?
I am saying that any act that defaces my national emblems as a mob, and politicians of political party who hold constitutional posts or aspire to hold constitutional posts encourage such mobs are indulging in an act of war. There is no other way to call it. And I'll give you the proof of the pudding. Tell Omar Abdullah Saab, tell Mehbooba Mufti ma'am, we will withdraw your security. And now you cannot contest elections. If your faith is so much for you, give up all of that and you encourage this mob. Immediately they'll turn around and say, nahi, ye nahi karna chahiye tha, ye galat hai. They are doing this for power. They are doing it only for power. This makes a difference to no Muslim. I am saying it. It doesn't even make a difference to 90% of Kashmir Muslims, except for those who are political people of PDP and NC and other political parties who somehow want to come to power or retain power. The ordinary Muslim wants the same thing that the ordinary Hindu wants, a better life for his family, peace and tranquility.
Okay, that's very passionately spoken, and I'm going to recap Imran because we lost you in the middle. A few things that Tehseen and General Saab have said. I think both identify this as a completely forced political controversy that is distorting, and invoking religion in an absolutely irresponsible way. Tehseen has gone even further in the language that he's used in the manner of being blunt and said he speaks as an Indian Muslim. He's outraged. Any politicians who encourage mob violence must face action. Pampered kids of these politicians use the passport with the Ashoka emblem on it to travel abroad, confiscate the passports of those who do it, and said defacing the Indian state symbols is an act of war. We have heard equally strong, firmly expressed words from General Hussain, and who's saying that those who do not want peace are here to stir the pot again. You said that you disagreed with my use of the word radicalism. I do see this, Imran, as an expression of radical politics. I'm not making a statement about a religious community. I am talking about radical extreme politics. The reason I'm calling it extreme is because the emblem that is on the currency notes, and General Hussain made a great points about the money that is offered inside these shrines, including the Hazratbal Shrine, has the Ashoka emblem on it. I'm hoping your line doesn't go this time. Do go ahead.
See, Barkha, there are many points in it. If you can just allow me to make some points, some responses to what has been said. First of all, I don't think National Conference is the first party which condemned the violence that happened, and we are against it, and it should not have happened. But it's very surprising that Tehseen is not questioning the BJP chairperson who actually made this a controversy. What was the need? I'll just give you two instances. Show me one instance where in a religious place, whether it's a Hindu religious place or any religious place in the country, where there has been any inauguration, do they have emblems in there? And let me give you one more instance. That on September 4th, there has been another inauguration made by the same Madam Andrabi ji, in Khiram in Bijbihara. She inaugurated a foot-over bridge there. There is no emblem on the plaque installation at Khiram Dargah. So why was emblem placed in Dargah Hazratbal when there is no precedence to it? When the rules of law even say that you cannot use emblem in a religious place, it is written there. It's law. We are simply asking that law should take its own course and an FIR should be filed against her. You have to understand one thing. This Dargah Hazratbal is the holiest shrines in the country for we Muslims, because it hosts the Moye Muqaddas, the hair of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the area where this thing happened, it is the sanctum sanctorum of that area where the holy relic is placed. And nowhere, I am not a Muslim Molvi or an alim, but as a Muslim I know that nowhere in the world that you have a sculpture or anything. We are not against anything, but inside a masjid we cannot have. You cannot
but
have.
What about? But Imran Saab, what?
No,
Imran
let me
Saab, what
complete.
about?
Let me complete.
Okay.
You cannot have this a structure inside a masjid. This is the basic foundation of Islam. Another aspect, the same madam did she crowned herself in the same place where the holy relic is placed, which goes against the basic tenets of Islam. If you remember, she crowned herself. She wore a tiara there. I don't understand why that is not being questioned. My sentiments are hurt as a Muslim. My sentiments.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
You are saying Darakshan Andrabi, the chairwoman of the Waqf board in Kashmir, has played politics, and why don't Tehseen and General Hussain question her? Point one. Point two, you are saying कि जो vandalism हुआ है वो गलत है. The National Conference has condemned the you have condemned the vandalism, but you do not agree with the placing of the emblem, right?
Exactly.
Which I have to say is a more restrained response than the one made by Mehbooba Mufti, who says this is like blasphemy. She has said placing the emblem there is like blasphemy. Now, you have mentioned Darakshan Andrabi. I want to play out her statement. She has actually used some very strong language and she has said, ये कश्मीर के गुंडे हैं और ये वापस आ गए हैं. Now, take a look at this and I'll come right back to General Hussain, Tehseen and Imran.
बहुत ही अफसोसनाक है और नेशनल एम्बलम को तोड़ना खुद की ये तो एक दहशतगर्दाना हमला है और एक सियासी पार्टी के गुंडे हैं जिन्होंने ये किया है. इन्हीं गुंडों ने पहले भी कश्मीर को तबाही की थी और आज भी वो खुल के दरगाह शरीफ में आ गए और हमारा जो ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर है ये मरते मरते बच गया. इनको भी उन्होंने हमला किया और जो कल से आप पूरे वर्ल्ड में देखिए दरगाह शरीफ का वीडियो चल रहा था, वायरल चल रहा था और इनको ये दिल पे तीर चुभ रहे थे और ये तीर चुभने के बाद इनको लगा ये कैसे हम डाइवर्ट करें. इन्होंने अपने गुंडे भेजे और उन गुंडों ने यहाँ पे हमला कर दिया.
So, General Hussain, I'll start with you. You know, you've heard Omar Abdullah, you've heard Imran, who's a young leader from the same party, National Conference. They say we don't support the vandalism. We do condemn the vandalism. But we question why the emblem was there. Now, if you look at the pictures carefully, and I want to ask all of you about this, if I'm not wrong, the Waqf board symbol is there. That symbol is there. So there seems to be some particular problem with the Ashoka emblem, and I am just not able to understand it. But when you hear Omar saying कि क्या ज़रूरत थी, क्या आपका काम काफ़ी नहीं था, वो plaque अंदर लगाने की क्या ज़रूरत थी? Imran goes one step further and says this is not legal, this is not allowed. What would you say, sir?
See, Barkha, I am very conscious and sensitive about the fact that it has taken us 36 years to stabilize Jammu and Kashmir. Lots of lives of my men have been lost in doing this. I don't want to sacrifice the stability and security of Kashmir at the altar of these politics. That's the first thing, right? Whoever and however it is you are involved with this, there can be mistakes. I'm not saying this is a mistake. I fully support the placement of any emblems otherwise, or especially national emblems.
Yeah.
But I say that if there's a perceived to be a mistake, then there are ways of correcting it. And that is, instead of going berserk on the kind of statements which are coming out from both sides, being a non-politician completely, I mean, being absolutely neutral, the better way would have been to sit together somewhere and not allow this space to come back, to be recaptured by those elements who were seen to be doing all this. The desecration there. That is condemnable, absolutely. You know, we've lost a lot of things in these so many years to these various networks and to these various people who have been involved in this. Now they have been disempowered, those networks have been neutralized completely. Every trigger that you give them, there will be someone clapping on the other side of the line of control. That's the only sensitivity I want every single politician in Jammu and Kashmir to realize this. Why in Jammu and Kashmir? All over the country, everyone should realize this. We have achieved this at great cost. Please treat this carefully, whatever you do. If you find this a mistake, if you find you're sensitive about something, make an appeal to the other side, sit together and look at it. Legally, how can you resolve it? After all, there's a rule of law in our country and the rule of law applies to Jammu and Kashmir too.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You don't personally disagree with it, but if there is a disagreement, this is not what it should have come to. Imran, since you do and the National Conference does condemn the vandalism, can you explain why the Waqf board symbol, and if we could play those shots again, you'll be able to see it, why the Waqf board symbol is acceptable but the Ashoka symbol is not? Imran? There, you see on the right side. You see on the right side the Waqf board symbol. Yes, please. Yeah.
Let me. Waqf board symbol is not an image of an animal or anything. In Islam, we cannot worship an image. That is what it is. Jo Waqf board ka symbol hai, it is just Quran written in a calligraphic way. So it is not an image in that sense. It is not an image of an animal or anything. You have to understand. So that is why you need to clear why there has been uproar against this, because inside nowhere you will find, it is not about Muslim places only. If you go and see wherever Hindu shrines inaugurations are done, have you seen when prime minister inaugurates or the home minister inaugurates a Hindu temple anywhere, do you see that is there an emblem used along with the Hindu shrine? Have you seen it? Can you show me one instance where they have used emblem inside a Hindu shrine? Can you show me? There is none.
I mean,
Because no, let me
maybe we
no
don't remember it because no issue has
no,
been made
there is
of
none.
it.
I can tell you with guarantee, because it is not, no religious place uses the emblem, the Ashoka Chakra inside their premises. You can go and check it. I am 100% sure about it. So why was this shrine particular? That is why we believe that there is a conspiracy. There is a angle of conspiracy, and we want
To do
an
what? To do
investigation.
what? What is the
There's a
conspiracy
conspiracy
about?
to there's a conspiracy to, as General Hasnan has been saying, there's a conspiracy by these elements to make some sort of a disturbance. We have an elected government here. There is the people are right now happy. People express their opinion with 63% of voting. Umar Saab is an elected leader. Umar Saab has been asking relevant questions. You need to understand one thing. Umar Saab asked, if you remember, Umar Saab asked some pertinent questions regarding regarding flood mitigation plans. Where has money gone over the last 11 years? We have been asking all these questions,
But
and we want an investigation.
Imran,
So,
this
no, listen to
emblem
me.
is on our, it's on our
No,
jhanda,
no,
it's on our notes,
no,
it's
no.
on
That
our
you have to understand. You
passport.
can you can ask. You can get any
तो
religious person, get a
अगर
mufti,
अगर अगर
get a
अगर
priest,
कल
get
सर
a.
मुझे
No,
पूछने
they
तो
will
दीजिए,
explain it to you.
पूछने तो दीजिए, अगर कल भारत का तिरंगा हजरत बल पे लहरा रहा होता कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर, उस पे भी तो हमारा चक्र है.
मस्जिद में चक्र अलाउड नहीं है. That is what you have to understand. Inside a masjid, when you are offering namaz, that is what it is. I mean, it is simple. You can go and ask any masjid. You- do we have chakras inside the mandir? Do we have that Ashoka chakra inside any masjid, in any mandir? My point is simple, Barka. You need to understand one thing. It is an unnecessary controversy that has been created. Why this place was
Are
picked?
you effectively saying the Indian tricolor cannot be inside a masjid or a mandir or a gurdwara? हमारा झंडा,
See,
हमारे देश का झंडा
it is not
नहीं
about
लहरा
it is not
सकता क्यों?
about the
नो
it,
आई नो
तिरंगा
यू
हर
नॉट
किसी
सेइंग.
जगह पे है. बरका,
सर
nobody can stop hoisting a tiranga anywhere. It can you मस्जिदों के ऊपर बाहर तिरंगे लगे हुए होते हैं. Who stops them?
फिर
मस्जिदों के बाहर होता है तिरंगा, बट इट इज द इनसाइड सैंक्टम सेंक्टोरम ऑफ द मस्जिद, जहां पर अंदर अंदर मस्जिद में भी आपको ये सोचना पड़ेगा ना कि मस्जिद एक इट्स अ प्लेस वेयर पीपल गो टू प्रे. I mean, as a Muslim, my belief is that I do not want any kind of a sculpture or an image inside a masjid. This is simple, and it is not with Muslims only. I've been telling you again and again. I don't know why you uh, choose to ignore it, or इस बात पे आप accept नहीं कर रहे हो. But
I am not trying to distort this by saying that you have a
yeah,
problem with the Hey, hang on. I'm not trying to distort this by saying you have a
no,
problem
you
with
are
the
saying because you are
अरे
bringing in
बोलने
the
दो.
flag issue in this.
Because flag
Because
में
there,
है वो चक्रा, flag में है
no,
वो.
but we are not talking about the flag right now, Barkha. The problem is, आपने मंदिरों के बाहर, मस्जिदों के बाहर देखे हैं तिरंगे. सो आप इस इशू को यहाँ पर लाने की क्या जरूरत? हम यहाँ पे मस्जिद के प्रेमिसेस के
Okay.
अंदर की बात कर रहे हैं.
Okay, let me get Tehseen in. I think Tehseen, again, I want to say, I'm not trying to pin Imran down and call him names and suggest, he's not, he's not an Indian or his patriotism is less. I am simply pointing out that the Tiranga has the chakra. And if he is saying the chakra cannot be inside the masjid ka sanctum sanctorum, that by deduction, it means that the jhanda can't be there. Hamara jhanda वहाँ नहीं हो सकता. This is what I have understood. If I'm understanding this correctly, I'm glad to be corrected. Tehseen, go ahead, please.
First of all, Islam, and General Saab will bear with me, is a very diverse religion. So it offends somebody like me when people start speaking for Islam when they have no idea how diverse Islam is. For example, I am an Aga Khani Muslim, right? So we go to something called a Jamaat Khana. In Diwali, we light up the Jamaat Khana. We do yoga there. We do dandiya there. We do garba there. My mother, when she was not a widow, wore a Mangal Sutra and went inside Jamaat Khana. Men and women sit together. ये कौन है भाई हमको समझाने वाले? ये क्यों मुसलमानों के लिए बात करते हैं? कौन है ये लोग? पहली बात. दूसरी बात. Now, which other religious sites have the Ashok Stambh or the national emblem? From Sarnath in UP, where Lord Buddha gave his first sermon, which has been renovated by the government of India and it spent money, to Safdarjung tombs, where there are enough dargahs. Barkha, you visited, General Saab has, which was inaugurated by the then Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, and Aga Khan Saab. All of them have the national emblem. What are you talking? What is this conversation? Bodh Gaya. The national emblem is there. Now, let's come to the Tiranga. I, Tehseen Punawala, have gone to Hazratbal Shrine. I've gone, Barkha, with somebody you know very well, Tanuj. Tanuj and I have gone together. And I have been wearing this very Tiranga, which I wear everywhere inside the shrine. I wore it inside there. I've gone with Tanuj. I have the pictures. I have a tattoo on my hand. Tomorrow Imran Saab will say, आपके हाथ पे tattoo है, आप गलत मुसलमान हो, somebody is offended, they'll cut off my hand. What is going on? I mean, I had the tattoo, the Tiranga on my hand. This is the Tiranga, it's on my hand. So I went to Hazratbal with this Tiranga on my heart, and I went with Tanuj Garg. Please, Islam is a great religion. Allah Ta'ala does not need Mehbooba Mufti or the Abdullah family to defend him. अल्लाह ताला ने कायनात बनाई है, उनको आपकी जरूरत नहीं है, आप हमारे लिए मत बोलिए. The country comes first. Stop allowing these hooligans to hijack our religion. We don't want our religion hijacked, and if something's gone wrong, please stand up and say it's gone wrong. We do not accept it. I agree, there may be a difference of opinion that why is the national emblem. I'm ready to concede that point to you. But within the four corners of the constitution and law, you talk to the government at hand. If you talk so much about secularism, why do you take government money to renovate? So it can't work both ways. I am again
respond to this, Barkha. I need to respond to this.
Okay, please respond.
First of all, it is not government's money. It is the money that has been. Oh no, listen. Yeah, that is it's a Waqf. It is Waqf. It is Waqf. Which is the money is people's money. It is not government's money. You have to understand one thing. The dargah was made through people's donation. It was not, the government has nothing to do with the dargah. The government cannot. Let me.
Allow me one point to clarify.
No.
1 second. I'll just take 10 seconds.
One sentence.
Having been to the Hazratbal myself, seeing the security there, both Jammu and Kashmir police and great men from our armed forces, seeing the other facilities there, the government of India and the government of Jammu and Kashmir spends yours and mine and Hindu taxpayers' money to maintain it. Please don't be this arrogant.
Okay. I take your point. I agree with you when Tehseen says that the issue could have been sorted in a more civilized way. There I agree with you. That should have happened. And when I made the comments at the first, that I, as a party and my party, we do not support any kind of violence. This could have been addressed in a more peaceful way, in a more dignified way, which unfortunately it has not been. Now we have expressed some opinions. I don't understand why in this country we cannot have our opinion. I, as a party, made my opinion, and I am within my rights to make my opinion. You cannot tell me that you are a radical and you cannot speak. I am not speaking for any Muslim here.
Nobody has called you.
Because Tehseen questioned. The problem with people like Tehseen is that they straight away go and start attacking persons. He attacked Umar Saab, he attacked his family unnecessarily. This is absolutely rubbish. Who are you to question Umar Saab, and who are you to question do you question what BJP, जब BJP के बच्चे जाते हैं, उनके BJP leaders के बच्चे बाहर जाते हैं, do you question them? Have you questioned BJP? No, let me. जो परसों मध्य प्रदेश में क्रिकेट बोर्ड के मध्य प्रदेश में सिंधिया राव. No, you didn't.
I did.
What are sons to do with it? Why do you bring in sons into it? Why do you bring in sons into it? They can study anywhere. We can study anywhere. I am responsible for myself, my sons, and my relatives are not responsible for my actions. So is the case with Umar Saab.
Imran, before I give General Hasnain the last word and Tehseen can have an interjection, I just want to try and explain to you why children studying abroad is relevant. is relevant only because the emblem is on the passport. The emblem is on the currency. It's on the currency that is offered in these shrines, including Hazratbal.
How are these two things related? I mean, there is no connection between the two.
Let me
I
explain.
have my
Let me explain. ठीक है, आपने कहा पासपोर्ट कोई अंदर लेके नहीं जाता दरगाह में, लेकिन
नहीं जाता है, मैं जाता हूँ passport लेके, मैं पैसे लेके भी जाता हूँ. Nobody can stop me, but it is inside my pocket. वो मेरे pocket के अंदर दिख नहीं रहा है. That is my point.
पर जब आप चढ़ाते हैं पैसे या डोनेशन, जब आप डोनेशन देते हैं, इमरान साहब, हाँ, अच्छा एक मिनट, आप बोलिए.
I welcome him to any masjid. He just has to cover his arm and go inside.
I didn't cover it. Why? I didn't cover it. Or why
that's fine. That is for you to. मैं बस इतना बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं करेंसी लेके भी जाता हूँ, पासपोर्ट लेके भी जाता हूँ.
ओके, एक मिनट. You are saying करेंसी लेके जाइए, पासपोर्ट लेके उसको छुपाइए, उसको दिखाइए मत.
Exactly.
Okay. What should happen now? Let's take concluding remarks, because this is, according to you, Imran, as long as you don't display it in the sanctum sanctorum, sab changa hai. Tehseen and then General Hussain gets the last word. Imran has, I think, in any case, lost his connection. Tehseen, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't. Sorry if I can come back. I'm just lost.
Yeah. Can we come out of this? Yeah. There you are. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get this. I went in Hazratbal wearing the tricolor on my heart. The whole reason we become independent, and we've had people like General Hussain Saab defend us, is for this tricolor. Why would I cover it anywhere? I want it in the Golden Temple. I want it at Hazratbal. I want it in temples. I want it in Ganpati. And that's my country. I will wear it where I want. And this idea of you're offending us and you'll speak for all Muslims is not acceptable. We need to reclaim our identity back from these people. And I'm blaming the BJP because there is stereotyping of Muslims that's happening, Barkha, that आप बड़े भाई का कुर्ता, छोटे भाई का पजामा पहनकर आ जाते हो टीवी के ऊपर, कुछ भी आप बातें कर देते हो टीवी के ऊपर, and you're creating a divide in society. Now I can't control the other side. I can control my people, and I need to reclaim this. This is my country, and I'm not going to allow people who think differently to hijack it on my name. Not in my name, it's not happening.
And what makes me very upset is that actually this will just end up stereotyping, Muslims, which is so unfair, because I think, as you said, nobody outside of Kashmir, and it's questionable whether anyone even in Kashmir actually cares about the emblem being inside the Hazratbal Shrine. General Hassan, I'm going to give you the last word. How concerned are you? Because where you started this conversation was that people who tried to foment trouble, break the peace, they're back. Now the NC has taken the line that emblem nahi hona chahiye, but we condemn the violence. Mehbooba Mufti is calling it blasphemy. I mean, what are we saying?
See, Barkha's sensationalism is not something that one will ever sort of encourage, and just cast that aside. But I agree with Tehseen on one thing completely. You see, Islam mein, we have to be clear, as he said very clearly, there's a huge diversity, right? I still remember going once in Bangladesh and making a statement in Dhaka University that, Indian Islam is like this, and Bangladesh Islam is like this, and Indonesian Islam, and someone stood up and said, "Sir, you're wrong. Islam is only one." I said, "No, I'm sorry." In India, where I come from, there is a belief in the diversity of Islam, because all of us know that there's a degree of syncretism with the local culture where you have grown up. Right? Now, we have to accept this. And therefore, what I'm looking at, this battle is classically a battle of liberalism versus obscurantism. Right? You have to, if you want to control Kashmir, you have to bring back the liberal approach, the Sufi liberal approach that we have always been talking about. You can't go on these kind of, dated kind of beliefs of this type. Nationalism is there, it's a part of it. The nation first always comes for all of us, as we know it. Right? And I'm sure if you ask most Muslims in India, they will first believe in that. And you will not find an objection to this. There are only some elements who have been provoked into this. And I still repeat that there are people sitting across the line of control who are taking a good laugh at this. And if you continue to encourage this and don't get rid of this, those laughs will continue. They'll go into a cacophony of laughs. So that is why I'm concerned.
Absolutely, and I share your concern, and I must thank both of you because, of course, you are not to be reduced to your Muslim identities. You are so much more. You are the sum of all your parts. But there are those who might seek to box either of you into that one identity, and you have shown today that very diversity that you speak of on this very program. There is no singular way of looking at what has happened, and indeed, as both of you have pointed out, if there was some concern, there was some anxiety, it could have been raised. The image of that vandalism actually does more disservice to those who want to stereotype Muslims and to those who want to stereotype the Kashmiri people. It's unfair to Kashmiris, it's unfair to Muslims, and it's unfair to India. We leave it there. Thank you so much to Tehseen Poonawala, General Hussain, and earlier to Imran Abidar, whose connection we lost. To our audience, as always, thank you and see you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.